I'm back in with part 3 of Blessed are the Meek with the Beatitudes. So where we had left off there was a submission to God and gentleness and kindness. And I was bridging the gap there for those that might be new coming into the faith versus those that have been at it a while. And it's easy, once you've been through quite a lot, to forget sometimes what it was like early on coming in. And that's something we can't allow ourselves to do, because we can't bring others in if we've got to be careful from becoming self-righteous instead of righteous. So with that said, again, it's such a beautiful and a divine thing when we're able to follow God's path rather than our own. And I know it's a process and a struggle, and it can be something that, just like anything else, it takes work and it takes practice, but it is so worth it. So that next part was gentleness and kindness. Manifests as a gentle, considerate, and courteous spirit focused on the well-being of others. And you either are one of these type of people, you've became this type of person, or you've known somebody that is. And these are the characteristics of what it means to be meek. So we get a full understanding of that. So the next major heading is, why is it considered a blessing? In other words, a blessing to be meek. It says divine vindication is the first subheading. The blessing is that God will ultimately work for those who are meek, vindicating them and ensuring justice is done. And you may be asking yourself, well, why is that the case? Because when you're following the Lord's will, and not just following it, but your desire to do His will, because not only the joy that it gives Him, but the joy that it brings you to please the Father, which again, to some new into the faith, it may sound quite wild, but it is such a divine thing, something that this should be one of our ultimate goals. And then the next subheading is inheriting the earth. The phrase, they shall inherit the earth, refers to a future inheritance and enduring prosperity that God will provide those who live